So here we'll go over the steps to get you going, practicing nice auto landing, ILS landings, hand flying approach, everything, just to make quick practicing runs. We'll select Helsinki for our arrival today, so we simply select an arrival. We make it an IFR, instrumental flight route. We zoom in a little bit towards Helsinki, and we want to pick an ILS runway in this case, so we're just going to pick the first one, ILS 4, which is fine. And then we want to pick a star, standard arrival terminal. Go from top to bottom, and this is actually looking fine. So next up we want to set up the aircraft somewhere over here, set as departure, and we want to remember this one. So what I normally do is, and the ILS and normally do is just simply take a picture from it, which I just did now, and then we're gonna go fly. So what is good practicing for is you have to set up the plane quickly, do a lot of things while you have limited time. So it's perfect to make quick practice runs like this. So I'll see you when we are mid-air. So here we are, ready to go. Still above Estonia a little bit here. Want to hit ready to fly. And there's straight away a couple things here you usually have to do. And that's bringing our speed down here just enough, something, set our altitude a lot lower, get this descent going, and deploy the speed brakes for now. Want to get down to like 5,000 feet, that's fine, or like a 6 even also still fine. 6,000 feet, the speed I just randomly set to lose some airspeed here. Gear is up, for the rest it's nothing special, landing lights are off by default. We can switch them on if we want to make it more realistic. Anyway, then we go to the FMC, no RT over here, previous page, and want to fill in an origin and a destination. You have to fill in a origin before you can set destination. So we're just going to pick Tallinn here in this case, EETN, and our destination is going to be Helsinki obviously, so we're going to zoom in a little bit here, and EFHK, there we go. That's good already for one thing, because if you're practicing hand flying, you're actually already fine like this, if you know the runway heading. Because if we zoom out now on the ND navigation display, we'll get Helsinki already showing up. And now you could simply turn the heading knob here to line up for Helsinki airport. If you want to hand fly it, you can overfly the runway, overfly the airport, look for a runway and make a landing. If you would like do like a GA aircraft, or in this case you can even practice it with the 737. Anyway, we're going for a full route, so we're going to hit departure arrival at Helsinki. We picked ILS runway 4 with Europa 3B as our star, standard arrival, and Europa 3B is right there. So now we got a little bit messy thing showing up here on the ND, but that's route, that's fine. You want to go to route again, and then you have the option to activate the route and execute. Now we still need to clean this up a little bit here, so we're going to zoom in on the ND, and we want to go to the legs page, which will bring us to all the legs. And then we have a discontinuity here. We can fix it by simply selecting the waypoint underneath the discontinuity and then placing it there. And we'll hit execute. Now we still have a little bit messy approach showing up here, so we're going to fix that as well. We can clear this message on the FMC for now. We want to change this one to planning mode here, and then we can walk through the waypoints and change anything if we would like to. For example, if we will go to Lohir now, and we'll start picking up the route from there, we'll make a perfect approach. So in this case, let's go to Lohir directly from here. So we're going to pick this one and set it up top, and that will bring us straight to Lohir. And then we got something else which just fixed, because here it's showing now vectors. In this case there is a gap again, and you get the vector here. So we're gonna pick Bodum, place it at the vector. Notice that there's right away something fixed. We lost a little bit of our nice approach here, but still fine. So I wanna go back to map mode. I'm a little bit fast here because we have to fix this, and by simply pressing LNAV mode instead of heading mode, we'll now follow our route. So it's a little bit messy, a little bit fast, I know, but there's a lot of things we have to do straight away. But I think you will get the idea now that this is good practicing. Still 6,000 feet, we're still too high here, so that's something which we need to fix, and there's not much route remaining before we'll be lining up with 4 left. So so that's something which we need to fix here. There's a very easy way to it. We can simply go back to heading mode. Before that I will set the bank angle to maximum. I will switch to heading mode. I will simply make a full turn. So we'll make a 360-degree turn. This will lose a lot of speed. It's not speed. It will lose a lot of air altitude, and at the same time a little bit of speed. Not too much, but so we'll keep descending here for now. Then in the meantime, now we have time. There's a few things we can go over here if you're like a real beginner, starting off here in the very well beginning. You can bring up some brightness here on the inside by turning these three knobs, and then it's another two down here, one for the radio panel and one which will light up this part here, let's say. We don't need it that much. And then on the overhead panel we have one as well, the lower one here of this center part, so to say. Then if we go to outside, we can lower the brightness as well a little bit, make it an early morning, like so. And this will help spot the airport later on. Not that we need it much because we have the route here anyway, but still. So low HIG is still selected here. We'll have to see how the LNAV will pick up the route here. Looks like it might still want to go there. If you're fast enough, it's straight away going to LNAV mode, which we didn't do now because I was explaining. Then it's fine. Then it will follow the route perfectly and doesn't want to go to this beginning part here. We'll now try to line up here and catch this LNAV route again. What I can do is go directly to Bodum as well here. Bodum when we are around. That's another waypoint just before the approach. The final approach here for runway 04 left is shown as 2300. So we'll go down to 2300. So we will have our green arc here indicating the correct altitude. Can come up a little bit here and we'll continue turning all the way around. It's indicated here as standard, and we can set it to no, not that one, like so. Now this turn looks like it will be catching our route fine. Like I said, I could take Bodum as well and move it one step up, and we'll have a fresh line again showing up in case we miss this one. In case we're missing this one. Few things we can select here on the EVIS is terrain in case you're flying in a mountain area. Now in Helsinki it's not that necessary. And data, which will show information next to your waypoints, like the altitude you should be reaching at a certain waypoint and the time you reach it. Not really that important now. We'll keep turning the plane here a little bit more, and we'll see if we can manage to pick up this LNAV route fine. We're changing back to LNAV now. I don't think we will be very happy. Past 10,000 feet already, actually, so we can switch on the landing lights here. They were on. Okay, good. Coming back on the bank angle a little bit, getting us aligned maybe a little bit better here. Maybe one more click on the bank angle. We're at 7,600 already, so we're gonna stop the speed brakes soon here. Speed is dropping. I'm going to take away the speed brakes, see how we'll be doing. And if you select LNAV now, I'm afraid the plane wants to go back there. No, it's going to catch the route and then make a left turn, I guess. Take a little bit of speed brakes again, so this sharp turn won't be too aggressive here coming up. There we go, starting. So now there's one more thing we need to set up for the ILS approach. So we go to the map and then go to Helsinki, FHK, Helsinki, ILS runway 40 left we picked. So we want to set up the course 038 it is, and on the other side as well 038. Looks like the plane wants to keep turning back to the starting point. Where are we taking? Leveling out now? Yeah, that's looking good. 4,200. We can keep 4,200 for now. And increase some speed to 220.
Positive rate of climb.
038 on both sides. For left is 111.9. 111.9. Both nav panels, let's say. And that's all we need for the ILS for now. So we're going to keep this. This 2,300 we can reach already at low here. So we're going to down in 2,300. And then come down here slowly. And then if we go into the index approach, yeah, we need the gross weight. We can take a gross weight from the FSX nope, yeah, payload 155.8. 155.8. And then if we go to yeah, here, yeah, our 40-degree flap setting, we set it here, we got our reference here, later on showing up 147 as our reference speed. We're not using any ATC here for now, just to keep it a little bit more simple, not too busy. If I would switch on the data now and notice the required altitudes here next to the waypoints, if you would have a longer route, it's a nice thing to have. Then before our arrival approach, let's say, normally I'm switching on the flight path vector, which is showing where we're actually going. So we're pitching up now to maintain this so we're descending actually, while actually still being pitched up. Reaching 2,300 here soon. We get the fuel message, that's because of the center tanks getting empty. And even for me this is still practicing, as you can see, because I had the speed brakes still armed. And then before we'll make this turn we have to be down on our flaps already quite a few, so we're gonna start with that very soon as well. Both engines can go to continuously, both switches there. And we'll start with the flaps 1, which is the slats in the same time, which are here in front of the plane. Those are called the slats, and on the other side are the flaps. And those are only coming out with flaps 1 setting. After that all the rest is on the other side, the trailing edge. And this red dotted line here is indicating our maximum speed with the selected flap setting. So we're going to come down a little bit more here while deploying flaps 2 and 5. And then we're going to switch both frequencies to active on the nav. So our flaps 5, and then we can go to flaps 10. And after flaps 10 we have to have the gear down first, otherwise flaps 15 we need to have the gear down, so we go gear down, wait for the 3 green right there, our final approach speed is altitude is 2300, so we maintain this 2300. We don't need to change anything on the altitude selected for now. 195, we have to be green on the gear, so we can come down here on the speed to 180. Go to flaps 15, and we start coming down on, keep coming down on the flaps while reducing speed here at the same time. Then we can select the auto brake. It's a relatively long runway way, so we can go up to auto brake 2, and that's fine. Flaps 15, and we continue to 25. And then to capture the runway ILS localizer, which will basically line you up with the runway, we need to select the VOR lock. By selecting the VOR lock, you will get the message here that the plane is waiting to capture the localizer. And after the localizer, we can switch to the approach mode, and then we'll get glide slope showing up here in white, which will make our descent towards the runway happen. Quite bright here in the side, so we can come down a little bit on that. Coming down to our selected speed, 152, and I press F8 now, even though it will be with 1 already enough, so by pressing F7 it will be fine. I'm just pressing F8, which will bring down all the flaps. And now we're lining up here for our final turn towards the runway. You can switch off the data for now, don't need that one. I'll select on terrain. It's too flat here, so we'll not see any terrain showing up. Anyway, if you're flying in a more high area with mountains, then. So on final check, flaps, gear down. This is all set up to VOR localizer. We're just waiting for the localizer here, soon coming up. If you have traffic nearby, you can switch this one to TARA all the way. Should have done it earlier, but just want to keep it a little bit simple here as well. I press TFC, which will switch on the TCAS traffic. So just remember what you like to remember, what you like to practice, and all the rest just forget extra things, so to say. And as you notice here, we're still quite fast, so 145 will be fine as well. So we'll go to 145, and now we're just waiting for the localizer to capture, which will make our... There goes the localizer, so we're switching to approach mode, full auto lens, switching on both autopilots, and notice the glide slope showing up here as well now. Normally I keep this ND navigational display just so I have the runway in sight. And this one I switch now to 5, and then I can press this one twice, which will show our descent path here. Notice I have the runway and the missed approach here now in sight. I have the runway here. And we're quite low because we got 4 red. So the plane is just simply gonna wait for the glide slope. Notice this diamond now starts coming down. And when this diamond is on this horizontal line here, the plane will follow and indicating glide slope. And that's coming up very soon here. Notice we got 1 white on the poppy lights now. Precision approach. Path indicators. That's it. Oh, that was me accidentally clicking that one. And there goes the glide slope, and now we'll later on, now we're in basically full auto land mode, so we don't need to touch anything here. And later on, underneath the glide slope, we'll get the flare showing up in white, which will make the plane automatically flare for its auto land. So now we just have to sit back and monitor our approach here. We're perfectly fine on our. But if, for example, it will be foggy, you cannot see the poppy lights, this is an indication that you're fine. And you're coming up for the runway here. If this display is now too messy, you could switch off the flight path vector. I find it now useful since I'm starting to practice a little bit of crosswind landings, and it's giving you a good, there we go, giving you a good indication of how much you're drifting, so to say. The flare is showing up now, so the plane is going for a full auto land here. I'm gonna reset my center, my view here one time, and all we gotta do is later on switch on the auto throttle and activate the reverse thrust and keep us lined up with the runway. Reverse thrust, what I normally do is switch off auto throttle, press F1 on the keyboard, which will make the engines idle, and after that straight away keep F2 pressed, which will bring it into reverse. 1000. Now I'm keeping an eye here. Keep checking those ones. Runway 04 left. Pipeline light's looking fine. Center once again, I have the center key on my joystick. This is a head-on airport for Helsinki. I like the Scandinavian area a lot for flying around.
400.
Few add-on airports. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this flare here. That's being activated.
300.
Yeah, 260, 50. Rapid lights still looking good.
200. 100.
Keep an eye on the flare here.
50.
Flare active.
30. 20. 10.
F1. Keeping F2 pressed. Reverse is green. Keeping us center on center line. Manual braking, F1 to get the engines out of reverse thrust. Take away the speed brakes, auto brake to off, pressing F5 to bring all the flaps off, all flaps up. Press Z to disable the autopilots on the keyboard. The key commands I'm calling out are all default, so if you change anything yourself, then that might be different. And then the EFB here now. It's not really working when you're starting off somewhere mid-flight. Last time I took an exit earlier, so it looks like we have to go all the way down there now. If this is it, if let's say if this is more than enough to get you going, then it's fine, of course. This is a nice start off to practice these approaches within just a couple minutes. I didn't record the time or whatsoever, so I will see it later on. To make it more official towards the gate now, you can switch off the landing lights, switch on the taxi lights, keep the APU one click down, keep it pressed down until it pops back up, and that's starting up the APU. By the time you will reach the gate, I'm gonna set the parking brake here for now. By the time you reach the brake, the APU generators will become available, these two center here, and you can simply press those two both down, select the APU bleed, and you can kill both engines. That's what we want. One last thing what we will do here, to simulate a full stop on the gate here real quick, how that will be going more or less. So we're just gonna wait for the APU to come alive here. Notice here the APU is starting up. For the rest, flaps are up, speed brakes are away. There's our APU light. You're gonna go to APU, APU bleed, and now you can keep power everywhere by even cutting off the fuel of the engines. So the engines are spooling down, all the rest keeps working, and then you can switch over to ground power. Ground power goes menu, FS actions, ground services, First you have to set the wheel chocks, and then you can request the ground power unit. After requesting the ground power unit, this goes quite fast. You will get the ground power here with the same blue light indicating above it. When it becomes available, you can simply switch on the ground power. After that you can shut down the APU and all fuel pumps, etc. So that's a real quick introduction how to get a plane with the engines stopped on the gate, let's say. Nice and quiet here on the taxiway. Anyway, so I hope it was useful. It's great practicing, well worth trying at least in my opinion, to get you going on your routine practice for landings. Yeah, next up will be about the flight path factor and being too high on your landing profile. So, alright, thanks for watching, enjoy your flight, and see you in the next one.